Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T92 HMC. It's the Tier 10 American SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Mines and it's under the command of Kuravaina. Now this is the biggest gun in the game, 24 centimeters in caliber, and it's got one hell of a punch. 1300 hit points if it penetrates the target. 16 millimeters of armor it will go through. But it does have a rather long reload, 42.28 seconds. Very long. It's built on the hull of the T26 E3, which you might know as the Eagle 7, and that's the Super Pershing. Yep, it's the tank that the Americans brought out towards the end of the war, and they only built 5 of these with the 24 centimeter howitzer, and 2 which they mounted 8-inch howitzers on and called that the T93. Well, he's found a target to shoot at straight away, and it's a very weakly armed tank destroyer, the Gorilla. Fires around at it, and not sure how much damage he did, but it was close. Now you only get 16 rounds of ammunition in this Arty. It's very big, and in fact actually in order to fight this machine they actually had to have support trucks carry around all the crew and all the ammunition because it was just so big. They named it King Kong, or the nuke cannon, and it was supposed to be used for bunker busting, but in the end, with the fall of the drop of the atom bomb and the fall of Japan, they didn't actually get to use it when they invaded the Japanese islands. But he's going to go for that Object 140, fires around in, and well, he splashed 2 tanks there, an Object 260 and a T95 FV4201. And a reasonable amount of damage off both of them, plus a very long stun. Okay, he's lining them up with another shot. He's half using Nigel's spot and half not using it. Nigel spots the area in C1, which is slightly close to the rock, and although it does give you some advantages at shooting at enemy tanks who are hiding behind the rock, it does have also problems that you can't see any enemy who's coming over the island. He fires around in. This time round he gets a direct hit on the 260, 500 hit points, and of course stuns him. Now he's changing his position after shooting, just moving slightly, just in case the enemy is trying to work out where he is. And I think he's decided to go for that T95 FV4201. It isn't a reward tank, that one, so it looks like that player might be a very good player, at least who plays in Strongholds or Clan Wars. Now I think there was a Strib 1030 or 103B at that corner. This is a tier 10 game. Yes, it is a Strib 103B. And he's aiming for that spot, but he wants somebody to spot for him. And maybe our Strib 103B will spot him very shortly. Oh, and the FV4201 moved up to the center rock. We're dialing in on that spot, waiting for him to pull back. Rounds out. Direct hit, 593. Good shot. And you see him adjusting his position. He's got such a long reload, he can afford to take at least 10 seconds finding a new firing spot just to avoid any counter battery. There is an Arty on the enemy team. It's an Object 261, and they've got quite a good fire rate, those Artys. And he's still focusing on the T95. You can see he's got a half a reticule. That would indicate there's an obstruction in between him and the target. And I think it's those rocks at the centre line. Rounds out on the T95. Direct hit again, 553. So he's racked up 2,083 hit points of damage already. Now he's looking for a target to shoot at. Oh, Well, we lost the Striv 103B in the south, but our Object 430 is coming under a bit of pressure from the enemy, and we're now trying to hit those two tanks over on the corner who are supporting them. Yep, our 430 has gone down, I'm afraid. Taken out by the UDES 1516. Rounds out on that corner. Oh, it was a good hit! We hit the Gorilla 15 in that corner. We definitely stunned him because he's showing we're stunned now, and it looks like one of our teammates might have hit him as well. So although it's not been recorded on our hit register, I think that was definitely a very good shot. Okay, he's just having a quick look over in the corner for counter battery for that Object 261. Now sometimes it's better doing counter battery from the God mode, which is going from above instead of battle assistant. And there's the tracer indicating where the Object 261 is. It was actually slightly to the right. He didn't get any hits on that occasion, but it does show where he was. Obviously it's very difficult to fight this battle from that corner because you just have to keep moving all the time in order to avoid any counter battery. But we did see the tracer. And as we've said before in previous videos, the way to actually quickly identify the enemy is to press your V key so that all of the visual aids are switched off, and then when the enemy fires, the tracer shows up really clearly. Very clearly indeed. Okay, he's loaded. If the Object 261 shoots now, we'll know exactly where he is. He's not fired. He's holding his fire. The thing about Arty is you have to have huge amounts of patience, oodles of it. You can't just sit there and hope that the enemy will suddenly fire when you want them to fire. Sometimes you just have to wait and wait and wait, and unfortunately it looks like the enemy's not going to fire. He's changed position altogether, and so instead we're going to go for a target that's in view. It's that same T95, and we hit the Progetto as well this time. The T95 took 327 hit points of splash and the Progetto 357. Okay, he's gone back to counter battery. As I said before, if you flick the V key so that all the visual cues go off, and then look very patiently. There he is. Very visible. Rounds out. And it's not showing us any damage, but I'm pretty sure that shot would have landed close to him, and we'll probably see in the end of battle results how much damage we did. We're one tank ahead on the enemy at the moment, but we seem to have done a lot of damage to the enemy because the number of hit points we've got 10,000, the enemy's got 5,800. So yep, I think they are being whittled away. Many of their tanks are suffering extreme damage. Okay, he's loaded, and I think he's going to go for this corner instead. There's some tank destroyers on that corner. He's indicated that top corner to his teammates. We really just need to see the enemy to get an accurate shot. He's fired a round in. Anyway, oh my god, he killed the gorilla! He got the gorilla on that occasion. He must have been badly damaged by the previous shots, and the splash was enough to take him out. Either that or it was a direct hit. Now again, we're looking for that Object 261. Now, when you don't see him in a particular zone for any length of time, you do have to scan around the area, all the likely places that the enemy RTs like to be. There he is! He's been spotted! He's hiding behind the crippled house, or the ruined house. In fact, he's moving forward, and he's now dead. So we've got a 2-tank advantage now on the enemy. And although he doesn't have to relocate now because there's no enemy RT left, I think he'll probably do so in such a way so he can get shots on the enemy that's in the right places. There's a Noobs 1516 on the South Island in the west, and there's still a tank destroyer on that corner, and I think it's the FV4005 Stage 2, otherwise known as a ship bomb. Okay, there's a Death Star behind that rock as well. He's going back to that corner because it's more than likely that ship barn has taken severe damage already from some of the shots he's fired in. He's only got 5 rounds left though. There's 4 minutes left in the game, so he's got more than enough ammunition to last the entire game now. He won't be able to fire all the ammo. Okay, he's loaded, and looks like he's going to try and get a shot on that UDES. In order to do so though, he might need to open his range because some of these rocks are actually getting in the way. So he's pulling back just a little. Scenery can get in the way of shots sometimes. Okay, he's dialed in on that corner. If the UDES makes an appearance, he might get a 24cm shell right in his face. Well, he fired one in anyway because there's only 3 minutes left in the game, and he might have stunned that UDES in the process. Right, the STB is probably going to help us here because he might be able to get sight of the UDES and allow us to get a clean shot right into him. Always seems odd this corner because some of those waves go right over the top of the Arty and yet we're not drowning. Okay, there's the UDES. He has moved. We're dialed in. Oh, and he's killed by our Gorilla. So that's the 2-minute warning. There's still 3 enemy tanks out there. Progetto 65, the T110E4, and that ship bomb, the FV4005. But everyone's now closing in. And I think that Kuravaina can actually help on this corner. There's the ship barn. Okay, so if he fires a round in there to stun the FV4005, that will help a great deal. He's doing it, and he stuns him. And unfortunately, we lose the STB-1, but the Progetto on the enemy team's just been killed by RE-100. The FV4005 goes down to our Gorilla 15, and they're about to lose their T110E4. Who just took a big round there, and he's now a splash kill, and I think the Jaegeru's going to take the honours, or is it the Jaegeru or the Type 5 Heavy? It's one of the two is going to take the honours and win the game for us, and it was the Type 5. And here's the end of battle results. He got an ace tanker in that game. Very well done indeed in the T92 HMC Kuravaina. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 19. A Gore's medal for doing more damage than 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And he got the high caliber as well for dealing the most damage in that battle overall. Now, did he hit the 261? Yes, he did. He got 1 shot into him, 1 stun, and he did 2 critical hits and 228 hit points of damage. So I suspect he did splash him on at least 1 occasion. So let's have a look at team score. There you go, right at the top of the table, 5,879 hit points of damage. The next high scorer was the FV215B183, the Death Star on the enemy team, who did 5,246 hit points of damage. And after that, it was the UDES 1516 who did 4,277. When it came to kills, though, it was shared between the Object 269, who managed to get 3 kills, and the UDES 1516, who also got 3. And then there's a bunch of tanks who managed to get 2 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, it was Kuravaina. He managed to get the highest amount, 1,004 base experience points. 954 went to the Type 5 Heavy, who won the game with 954. And then 902 goes to the Object 279. He fired 13 rounds in that game, so all but 3 rounds of his ammo to start with. He got 3 direct hits, but no penetrations and 18 splash. So he obviously hit many targets, more than 1 tank at a time. He did damage of 5,879 hit points, and all of it was at more than 300 meters. He hit 7 of the enemy, killed 1, and did 449 hit points of stun assist off 17 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 52,553 credits from that game, and after ammunition resupply, there's no way of getting around it, these shells are very expensive. 24cm shells are very expensive. So yes, he only ended up with 20,053 credits at the end of that game, but he picked up 1,004 base XP times 2 for the first victory. He took away 2,008 experience points altogether. So very well done on getting your ace tanker and your high caliber Confederate and Gore's medal. 3 epic medals in 1 game. Very nice indeed. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button. Thanks for watching.